Welcome to the Synergy podcast, the space where we redefine how we move, heal, and experience our bodies. My name is Arianna Montanari. I am a yoga synergy teacher, a soap maker, and a beekeeper. I'm an advocate for a pain-free and desire-driven life. Life does not need to be about suffering and working hard. And I am on the quest for creating a life where we maybe need to do a little bit less and still receive abundance. So here we break free from those unspoken rules that tell us how we should look, how we should feel. And through intuitive movement, self-care, and a deep reconnection with nature, we explore what it truly means to live without tension, pain, or limitations. So whether you're a yogi, a seeker, or simply curious about stepping into a more liberated way of living, you're in the right place. So let's dive in. Welcome to today's episode of the Synergy podcast. Arianna speaking here. Today it's going to be a solo episode because there is something big that is alive and present for me in these days. And I really wanted to give some space to it and share it with you because I am sure that I am not the only one feeling the way I feel and feeling what I feel. And you know that June is a very busy month. And here in Sweden, where I live, it feels like May and June are the months where everything happens. Everything that does not happen during the rest of the year happens in May and June. And you get that FOMO, fear of missing out. You want to live life, experience life, do it all. And you feel that anxiety. Oh, I have to do it all. I have to be out there, enjoy the long, bright summer nights. I cannot be at home. And there's naturally less sleep. We're naturally more prone to do more. And there are a lot of school things, a lot of work things, and a lot of long weekends. So there's suddenly from a very calm hibernation life. I have been talking to some fellows, women, business owners, friends, and it was interesting because for everybody, this feels as a very intense time of the year. And it's those things that we schedule in, so say work and friends and family and things we need to do, but it's also things that happen, family members getting sick or passing, energetically challenging us to be present. And so to give you a bit more of a background, over the past month, I have been dealing with taking over the studio here in Stockholm, gathering all the people, finding tenants and contracts and rents and discussions and bargaining, and it has been very challenging. It's been very challenging for me as a person, for me as a business owner, because I need to show up in a much, how to describe this? I have to put my foot down. I needed to adjust my way of creating the business conversation. And a few days, our family dog back in Italy passed. A few months ago, the other one passed. So it's been a very sad few days, and the past month had been challenging, and I am sitting with this question today. How can we hold it all? Because life is lifing, as my coach Casey says. And how can I be ready as a person, especially as a woman, to hold all the beauty and all the, call it success, all the wins that I am experiencing, but also be ready to hold the loss, the grief, the sadness that I feel, the overwhelm. And I think this is a very profound and human question. I am sure that I am not alone in this. So how can we hold a full range of life when it all come crashing in at once? And it's both beautiful and heartbreaking. And it can be disorienting. It can feel overwhelming. And the metaphor that I have in my head is us being at the beach and we're standing by the sea. And the ocean, the sea is wave after wave coming to us. And it can be those soft waves, warm water, almost like tickling our feet. It can be those big cold waves that almost swallow you into the ocean and make you lose balance, make you fall. The question is, where am I standing? Am I standing on a slippery rock? Am I standing on a steady dock? Am I standing on the sand? How long does it take for me to get up when I fall? But also, am I losing my energy somewhere? Is there a dog biting my leg? Am I holding a lot of things in my hands so that it is more difficult to actually have my balance and gather my strength? And I hope that you understand this images, because if I am standing strong and I know and I think I will make it, I know that I can do this, the outcome will be very different from saying, oh, this is overwhelming, I cannot do this, I am going to fall, I am going to fail. So adding this to when I am there facing life, living life, experiencing life, receiving it, all the waves hitting me, what is the quality of my thoughts? So in today's episode, I really wanted to have this conversation with myself and hopefully with you after you listen. How can we deal with the fullness of life, with the very highs and the very lows? And how do we do it when those high and lows happen simultaneously at the same time? You know, there is nothing wrong in feeling both simultaneously. I think that life is rarely either black or white. Often all the nuances in between. And one of the first things that I am practicing in these days, especially after working with my coach, we work a lot with embodiment and really feeling present in what's alive for us. And before we go deeper into this, I know that this sounds like something you will never do, that will never work, that you will never have time for this. And it is such a small thing. But when you're feeling all the things, to actually take even just 1 minute, okay, and sit or stand at home or out in nature, by the way, even better, and feel it. This is an exercise that I often do with my clients. What's alive for you now? And close your eyes, find a comfortable position where you can actually relax. Relax the abdomen, relaxing the shoulders, and really allow whatever is alive for you right now to almost like bloom. I visualize this flower just opening up and blooming and taking up space. Often when we feel this overwhelm, we want to hide it under the rug. We want to forget about it. We want to forget about it so that it will hopefully dissolve if we wait long enough. But the truth is that often it doesn't, and it might not be current anymore so that we move on, but in my experience, that will always come back. And so when we're feeling all the feelings, just the fact of sitting down and allowing every emotion, every thought to be seen, felt, and heard, even named. I am feeling this, okay? I am feeling anxiety. I am feeling sadness. I am feeling joy. I am feeling pride. And all of these can coexist. And it is important not to label them negative and positive, right? We often do this. I'm sad. Oh, I don't want to feel sad. I'm happy. Yes, I want more of this. And so naturally, chemically in our bodies, of course, we're more prone to feel the joy and that type of hormones. But truth is that both coexist and there is no good or bad. And once we allow all the emotions or feelings or ideas or experiences have a seat at the table in the spotlight, the next step could be to journal or even voice notes. So you take your journal, you take your favorite pen, you can have your rituals and you just write down, and it can be at nighttime. I know that some of you have a hard time sleeping because you wake up in the middle of the night and then you start thinking, oh, about all the thousand things that you have to do, you have to think about and solve and fix, and then ciao ciao, sleeping. It's a long way to morning, and then you know that the day after you'll be tired. So right, and it might help partially at the beginning, but the more you bring in this routine, the more it would help, because by writing, you are basically downloading your thoughts, your worry on paper. Same thing with the open tabs, like when you have those thousand thoughts, and I think it's especially us women, because we are, they're nurturing beings, and we see so many things. We see the reality around us on so many layers, both the practical needs, the logistics, the emotional needs of ourselves, but also the people around us. And so it's not just, oh, okay, I'm going to go to work and then I'm going to come back home. It's going to be more in the line, okay, I wake up and I have to prepare breakfast. I have to empty the dishwasher. I have to clean the kitchen, and then I have to get ready, and then we have to do this, and then I have to tank up the car. We get to work, and then I have to send this SMS. And then after I'm done, you need to do this and then do the grocery. Oh my goodness. So write it down. Have a little session with yourself. And something that I have started doing, always on the tip by my Casey, take a paper like a notebook and just do a brain dump, so-called. So you take your pen and you just write everything that is on your mind. I need to do this, 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 this. This is worrying me. This is taking space. This is taking energy. Remember to da 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 da. And then once it's there, it takes less space, and you know that there's not energy spent on trying to remember, having that on the open tab. So we close all those tabs and we can actually get back to present. Something I have played with over the past month is also just don't call the asylum, but just talking to myself. Basically, I can be in the car, or I can ride my bike on the way to the studio, for instance. And especially when there is a very nice view and the sun is shining, I just talk to myself, saying those things out loud. Wow, look what you have achieved. I know that you're worried about this. And remember all the things that you have already solved. All the things, like, look where you are now. And just vocalizing those thoughts, for me, has a very profound impact on the way I feel. And we are reprogramming the brain to think in a certain way, to foster this positive, constructive thoughts and not the destructive. So in this way, our mind is processing those thoughts fewer times. There's less energy that is required from that. Not all thoughts have to make sense at once. You don't have to find a solution at once. So just put them down on paper, speak them out loud, make a voice note that you might never ever listen to again. And then I think that when we feel all the feelings, and when we feel maybe a little bit overwhelmed, I invite you to go a little bit into cave mode, hermit, limit the inputs, reduce stimulations if possible. And I'm thinking just your phone, social media, the news, reduce if you can, because when you are overloaded, when your nervous system is overloaded, the last thing we need is to actually load it with even more. And this is something that I named also in the masterclass that I held a few weeks back. We spoke about the nervous system and how often we're the first ones sabotaging ourselves. And I explain in detail what happens when we don't feel like training. When we say yes to everybody else, to take care of people, to show up, stay 2 hours longer at work, or take an extra pass at work, rather than saying, no, I'm going to take some time for myself. No, I have to schedule some training for myself. And that's all loopholes of the nervous system be already overloaded. It cannot take more. And what we went into is that there is nothing wrong with you. You're not wrong. You don't need to feel guilty or ashamed. But that is a coping mechanism of your nervous system. And this masterclass, I can send it to you, and just send me a message or an email and I will send it to you. I'm pretty sure there is also on YouTube. Going back to what to do when it's June and life is happening, I think we need to also tend to the body, right? We have spoken about stopping, naming what we're feeling, allow what we're feeling to be seen and felt and heard. Maybe write it down, say it out loud. But then the body, what happens? And if you keep in mind that emotions are processed physically, all right, as much as cognitively, feelings that are not, to say, mentally digested, okay, that we let go, they get stuck in the body. And they can affect our breathing, they can affect our digestion, they can affect our hormonal levels, how intense the next PMS is going to be. This month's PMS for me was terrible. So you really feel that when there is a lot of pressure, your body will respond. And so it can be so that after you have sat down to journal about what you're feeling, you just notice where in the body you feel, where in the body you feel extra tension. Where are you tensing? Is it the jaw, the neck, the shoulders? Are you pulling in your belly? Are you slouching? Or, are you relaxed and are you with an open posture, open throat? And you might want to shake. You might want to expand and breathe into that area that feels tense. You might want to put on your favorite song or a song that evokes certain states in you, and you might want to dance. You might want to scream. And I know that screaming is, it's not easy. Okay, it's not easy to scream. It's like, no, I'm not going to scream. I'm not going to make so much noise because there's a lot of shame around it, right? So a little tip, you could have like a pillow and scream into it. I promise it feels weird just for the first 2 seconds. And then there is this rage coming out and then you just want to do it again. Or could be in the car. Nobody will hear you, but be safe. When you're parked somewhere and nobody's around, have a little scream. So let it out and then create space to rest, sleep, drink water. So these are also tools for emotional regulation. Something else that could help is also to spend time in nature. And it's connected also to reducing the amount of inputs that we have around us. And if, you work from home and you feel that you're climbing up the walls and you feel like, I need to get out, well, get out. Take a little break and go out, take a walk in nature. Touch, go and have a dip in the sea at the lake. Find in stillness, sit on the ground, go and work in your garden or on the balcony, put your hands on the soil. So these are all actions that recalibrate our nervous system. You can even do a mindful 1-2 minutes of just closing your eyes like we did earlier and breathe, relaxing the abdomen and breathing into your abdomen. And something that I found very grounding is that once you found the belly breath, so breathing into your abdomen, see if you can breathe even lower down towards your legs and towards your feet. And maybe from there, even deeper from the feet to visualize like roots growing in the soil and anchoring, grounding yourself down. And then from there, breathe in and breathe, gather all the energy from your roots and bring that energy up all the way through your body, legs, abdomen, chest, neck, and all the way to the crown of the head. These are exercises that really ground our nervous system. Once you have done the work within, and I'm by no means saying that this is easy, the biggest piece here is to make it happen, to take the decision to actually sit down and write on a piece of paper. So the biggest obstacle is the decision making, to say, okay, let's do this. Talk to someone, ask for help, and it can be your partner, a friend, just like a trusted presence, a trusted person. Reach out a hand. And I know that there is also, it's not easy to receive. It's not easy to ask for help, but sometimes we need to be witnessed. You're not asking the other person to find a solution for you. Remember, this often happens, I think, when we talk to our partners, male partners I'm referring to. They want to find a solution. No, sometimes we just need to be just heard, witnessed, just hear what I have to say. And then after you have said it, it feels better already. All these practices over time will build balance. It's not necessarily just standing still. I say this in my classes. Balance is not just, leg, foot on the ground, head towards the ceiling, arms out, and that's your balance, staying still. Balance is also about oscillation. Balance is about losing balance, trying all the different directions, but still trying to stand on one foot. So it doesn't matter the shape, but in balance, a movement can still happen. Sometimes it's about losing balance, falling, and get back up, right? You don't have balance if you don't fall. You don't know what balance is if you don't fall. The duality. There is a joy because there is sadness. That physically, somatically also help us to cover the variation of things, the fullness of what we are feeling. So remember that you are big enough to hold it all. And although there is a part of yourself saying, no, I am not, I'm scared, I cannot do it all, you just want to, be small and retract, ask yourself, who is saying that? Who is scared? And what are you scared for? And ask yourself, how much are you ready to feel it all? How much are you ready to receive? Because you're not broken for feeling overwhelmed. You're just alive. Some of us feel more and allow themselves to feel it. Some others, they should shut off. And as soon as something comes up, they just take the phone and go and sit on the couch and just check it out. But if you want to actually live life unplugged, I'm thinking like the Matrix, that they would plug that cable in the back of the neck. I think that what we're doing with the phones, we're checking out, feeding that discomfort with inputs coming from the outside so that I can forget about that. If you decide to feel it, well then make space for that and remember that it's temporary. Remember that it will pass, that you are where you are now, but day after day, your nervous system will recover. Something else will happen. And both mentally, energetically, and physically, you will move on. Probably stronger and probably with a better understanding of where you are and what you can hold. Because I think that's the biggest fear that we have, of not being able to hold it all. And so what happens when we actually do? Are we seeing that? Are we telling ourselves, wow, look at you? And if you're afraid of what could happen if worst case scenario, picture the worst case scenario. Have solutions for worst case scenario and for best case scenario. How often do we do a best case scenario? Never. We always plan for the worst, but I invite you also to plan for the best, because that's often what happens. I hope that with this reflection today, you could get some inspiration. I hope I'm not alone in feeling all the feelings in this month. And if you have any tips, anything that you would share, that you would like to share with myself and with the other listeners, please drop it in here. I am very glad that you were here and listened to this whole conversation. And that's a wrap for today's episode of the Synergy Podcast. Share it, leave a review, or connect with me on Instagram, for instance. It's at Mielestrega. And if you're ready to go deeper, check out my yoga offerings, both group online, group at the yoga studio here in Stockholm, and then one-to-one online. And in October, I'm holding a retreat, a yoga retreat in the heart of Tuscany, and it will be amazing to gather you with the rest of the tribe. Remember, your body is yours. You own your emotions, and do not allow anybody to tell you that what you're feeling is wrong. Give voice to what you're feeling and then move on. Living pain-free is possible both at a physical level and at mental level. So until next time, move with ease and live with joy.